Lesson 5-9, Line Plots, Fractional Units. The focus in this lesson is for you to write a question for line plot data. I want you to pose through review questions to each other and to use the data to create a line plot so that you can answer those questions. But first, let's start with our mental math and fluency. Adding fractions. I want you to think to yourself, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if the fractions added together equal a whole. And if they don't, you should be able to say what the answer to that fraction problem would be. So look at the first set of fractions. 2/4 plus 1/4. First of all, what does 2/4 plus 1/4 equal? 3/4. If you have 3 out of 4, do you have a whole? You should know that you do not because you are missing 1/4. So you should have gave me a thumbs down. 2/5 plus 2/5. Again, we have like denominators, so the denominator stays the same. So we add the numerators on top. What is 2 plus 2? 4. 4/5. Is 4/5 a whole? Again, thumbs up or thumbs down? You should have given thumbs down. 4 out of 5 is not a whole. And again, 4/6 plus 3/6. The denominators stay the same, 6, but we add the numerators together. 4 plus 3 is 7, so 7/6. Is that a whole? You should have did a thumbs up because 7/6 is actually equal to 1 1/6. And so that is more than a whole. I want you to pause the recording and go get your student reference book. Once you have your student reference book in your hand, please turn it to page 215. I want you to think of one question that can be answered by using the information presented in the line plot. Hopefully by looking at page 215, you've noticed and thought about, well, how many insects were measured? And it says 22. What is the insect measure that appears most often in that line plot? 2 inches. Please make sure as I'm asking and answering these questions that you are looking on page 215 of your student reference book, not your math journal, to look up these answers. My next question is, what is the measure of the longest insect? 3.5 inches. What is the measure of the shortest insect? 1 1/2 inches. What's the difference in the measures of the longest and the shortest insects? Difference means you're subtracting. Hopefully you notice that 3.5 minus 1.5 equals 2 inches. Next, you're going to need to go over to where all our tools are kept and get a measuring tape. You're going to need to find a partner and open your math journal to page 173. Please follow the instructions on that page. Read them to yourself quietly as I read them out loud. They say, ask your partner to help you measure the distance around your head. So you're going to wrap the tape measure once around your head at the longest point. See where the tape touches the end tip of the tape measure. Read the mark where the tape touches the end tip. Read this length to the nearest ½ centimeter. So please make sure to do that. And I want you to record your head size. So remember, you're doing it to the nearest ½ centimeter. Pause the recording now, and please do that with a partner. Next, it's asking you to make a line plot of the head size data for the class. But what you're going to be able to do right now, because of how many students are not at this point, is for you just to mark where you and your partner's head size landed. So do that now. Once you have done that on Math Journal page 173, until we get all the students' head sizes measured, please go on to Math Journal page 174. And it reads, a 4th grade class at Hillside Elementary School used a spring scale to weigh their full backpacks and record the weights to the nearest quarter or 1/4 pound. So if you look here, you're seeing that information, 4, 6.5. So this is to the nearest 1/4 pound. The next instruction says, plot the data set on the line plot. So the first number you should see is the number 4. So this is how you're going to record it. There was one who had 4. Since I am putting down the number 4, I would cross that off so you know you used it. Is there any other ones here that have 4? Well, yes, you should notice that there is one that's 4.5. Is there another 4? Nope, there's only one at 4.5. So you're drawing an X at the 4.5 spot. This would be 4, 4 1/4, 4 2/4, which is 4.5, 4 3/4, and 5. So next I'm going to look for another 4. Oh, 4 3/4. I know 4 3/4 is 1 after 4.5, so I'm going to exit that out. And I'm going to do one more for you. I'm going to look for 5s. 5 3/4, 5 1/4, 5 1/4, 5 1/4, 5 3/4. Well, I know 5 1/4 is first, so I have 1, 2, 3 that are at 5 1/4. Well, this is 5. 5 1/4 is the first line after 5, so I mark 1, 2, 3. Please finish this page and then go to the answer key and check it. If there's anything you did not get correct, please bring it up to myself or Mrs. Voorhees so we can show you how to fix it and show you the correct way to do it. Look at question number 1. It asks, how many students carry a backpack that weighs 5 1/4 pounds? So there's a blank there for how many, and the units, students. So you're going to need to have that graph done before you can answer these questions. So make sure that's completed. Number 2, how many students carry a backpack that weighs more than 7.5 pounds? Blank, students. Again, the units are our students. Make sure you're noticing it says weighs more than, not equal to, more than. Number 3, how many students carry a backpack that weighs less than 5 3/4 pounds? Again, there's a blank, and students still are our units. And number 4, which weight is carried by the greatest number of students? Meaning, which weight has the highest amount of students whose backpack weighs that? And again, notice the units is changed because the weight is now in pounds. So how many pounds? Pause the recording now. Finish Math Journal page 174. The next Math Journal page you're going to do is page 175. Please take note that that is not what is showing on the screen. But I am going to read to you Math Journal page 175. So please pause the recording and turn to that page and read silently while I read it out loud. Again, please remember what I'm reading to you is on Math Journal page 175 and not what you see on the screen. It reads, to avoid back pain and other health problems, the heaviest weight a typical fourth grader should carry is between 7 and 10.5 pounds. How many students carry backpacks that follow this guideline? So remember, you're going to use Math Journal page 174 to answer that question. Pause the recording if you need to look back to answer number 5 on page 175. 6. How much does the heaviest backpack weigh? Again, look back at page 174 and record the pounds of the heaviest backpack. Number 7. How much does the lightest backpack weigh? Number 8. What is the difference in weight between the heaviest and lightest backpacks? So you're going to be subtracting the heaviest weight from the lightest weight. Number 9. What is the difference between the weight of the heaviest backpack and the weight carried by most students? Again, difference means that you're subtracting, and you're looking at the heaviest backpack weight and the weight carried by most students. Number 10. What is the combined weight of all of the backpacks weighing more than 4.5 pounds, but less than 5.5 pounds? So you would not be including the 4.5 pound ones, nor would you be adding in the 5.5 pounds, because combined means you're adding. 10b. Is there more or less than the combined weight of the backpacks weighing more than 6 pounds and less than 7 pounds? So I'm looking for either the word more, in that more than the combined weight of the backpacks weighs more than 6 pounds and less than 7 pounds, or the word less. And letter C, how much more or less? Is it 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4.25 pounds, 2.5 pounds? How much more or less? Stop the recording now. Page 175 is an assessment check-in, so bring it back to me so that I can check it to make sure that you understood what you were doing. I would like you to go get Math Masters page 208. All right, what I would like you to do is to label this page. Which one of those do you think are the heights of some fourth graders? Plot C. So on that line, I would like you to put inches where it says plot C, because that's the unit, inches. What would you use to measure the distance some fourth grade bus riders live from school? Well, hopefully you're looking at plot D. In that unit, you must write in the word miles. The next one, of the one remaining, we're talking about the time some fourth graders spend on homework each night. That is plot B. So on the line next to units, we're talking about hours. H-O-U-R-S. That is the sheet you are seeing on your computer now. So that is what you are filling in. And for plot A, you should be writing pounds, comma, gallons. So you're writing those words on these lines. If you need to, stop the recording and go back and fill it in. You are going to need to complete Math Journal page 176 and 177, correct them both with the answer key, And finally do Math Masters page 211 that is in the file folder. Thank you.